The Tower of London is an almost 1,000-year-old fortress of death, betrayal, and horror, located in the oldest section of London along the River Thames. Over the years, the tower has had many uses, but its most famous is its status as a prison for famous prisoners such as Queen Anne Boleyn, Sir Walter Raleigh, and two princes that are believed to have been murdered by their uncle to secure the crown. It's a dark place, but an interesting place, and today we'll explore the inside of this famous den of death and betrayal. Welcome to the infamous Tower of London. So this tower is known as a place of execution and death. So this tower has a super infamous history, right? So very famous people executed here. And the tower has a fascinating history, and what we're going to do in this tour is we're going to go through the tower, learn a little bit about its history, and show you some of the most interesting things to see in London, right? They're housed in this 1,000-year-old tower. The Tower of London is one of the city's most interesting sights because of all its rich history. It has been the site of some famous executions, and its dark stone facade gives it a very foreboding presence as you walk through the stone paths. When you first enter the tower, notice Traitor's Gate. This was a famous entry point to the tower where many prisoners first entered off the river to begin their sentence and/or wait for their imminent death. Make sure you check out the ravens. These creepy birds are a vital piece of the folklore surrounding the tower, saying that should the ravens ever leave the tower, the United Kingdom will crumble. To prevent this, the tower always has at least 6 resident ravens on site. These dark and ominous birds really play into the entire vibe of the place and are carefully cared for by the Raven Master. They can often be seen uncaged wandering the grounds as well, but don't try and touch them because they are known to bite. The White Tower is the central keep within the Tower of London and was built by William the Conqueror in the late 11th century. Its name derives from the white limestone used in its construction, and its imposing presence dominates the entire grounds. One of the first things you will notice is the site of where it is believed the bodies of the 2 missing princes were found. These boys were the heirs of the recently deceased Edward IV. Their uncle, the king's brother, Richard, Duke of Gloucester, had his eye on the throne. In 1483, the boys went mysteriously missing, and their uncle, who then became Richard III as the next in line, assumed the throne. In 1674, 2 young boy remains were found hidden beneath the staircase, and it is believed to be the murdered princes. Their remains are now in Westminster Abbey. The White Tower also houses an amazing museum showing some of England's most interesting artifacts, including armor, weaponry, and more. Take a look at this famous suit of armor belonging to Henry VIII, attempting to show off his well-endowedness and virility. Next, you'll notice the Norman garderobe, which is essentially a medieval toilet, before you move on to the beautiful main chamber of the White Tower. Continue and you will find St. John's Chapel. This still consecrated chapel was constructed during the reign of Henry III and boasts remarkable medieval features, including a beautifully crafted stone vaulted ceiling and amazingly intricate stained glass windows. This is for sure the holiest place in the Tower of London. Next, you will enter the Armory. This exhibit shows you fascinating medieval and Tudor era weaponry. My favorite was the collection of king's swords. Check out these real weapons that were actually used to administer some of the tower's most famous executions. I love wandering through this foreboding and history-packed medieval keep. The museum within it really helps you understand medieval life and the sheer rawness and brutality of life so many centuries ago. It is a stark reminder of humans' nature to seek power and to maintain control of status. One thing you may be interested in seeing is a Yemen warder, aka Beefeater, tour of the tower. The tours are conducted by the British military unit that guards the tower and is included with your ticket admission. The tours leave every half hour from the moat and offer you a fantastically in-depth and humorous look into the tower from the very men who guard her. To become a Beefeater, one must have 22 years of military service and hold the rank of warrant officer. They live within the tower with their family, and for their service they are provided with housing. They love the tower and with great humor teach you all about its fascinating and dark history. So when you're here, make sure you check out the Memorial of Execution. So it's kind of nondescript, it's kind of hidden in the garden next to the White Tower, but it is commemorized with a pillow, and this is the spot where they believe a lot of famous executions happened, specifically Anne Boleyn. The location of the Memorial of Execution is widely believed by historians to be the spot where many of the actual executions occurred, most famously Queen Anne Boleyn. On May 19, 1536, Anne was arrested on charges of adultery, incest, and conspiracy against the king, her husband. Her and King Henry VIII's marriage was the main reason for England's split from the Roman Catholic Church after the Pope refused to annul the king's first marriage. She failed to produce a male heir for the king, and he grew sour towards her. He began to believe she was a witch, and some quote-unquote evidence, mostly of a dark sexual nature, led to her arrest and eventual beheading. Catherine Howard, the king's fifth wife, wasn't even queen for a year when Henry VIII had her arrested and executed for adultery. Some believe that this actually occurred and she did take a lover. It is alleged that she was having an extramarital affair with one of the men from the king's court, Thomas Culpeper, who was also executed by being drawn and quartered. Next, check out the story of imprisonment in the tower. There were far more people imprisoned in the tower than were actually executed, and in this specific section you can see authentic graffiti of people waiting for their trials, hoping for release, or waiting for their impending death. The graffiti is written in many different languages, and it is fascinating because it shows you how humans have the nature to immediately tap into their spirituality, even if they were criminals, when they are brushing shoulders with death. Find your way to the Bloody Tower. This is the section of the complex where Sir Walter Raleigh was imprisoned. Inside you will find a beautiful and amazingly intact portcullis, which is a castle gate that can be opened up and down. You will also see Sir Walter Raleigh's chamber while he served his prison sentence, possibly awaiting death. He was an extremely influential Englishman, soldier, writer, and explorer who played a vital role in the English colonization of North America and was a favorite figure among royalty. Eventually, he fell out of favor with them when he was arrested in 1603 for treason. He and his family lived in the Bloody Tower for about 12 years in a sort of white-collar prison state. definitely check out the medieval palace within the tower. This beautiful complex served as a royal residence, and inside you can see the bedrooms and living areas of Edward I and Henry III. The palace features beautifully preserved medieval architecture with fascinating stone chambers, wall paintings, and period-specific furnishings, offering a glimpse into the opulent lives of medieval English royalty. The top of the medieval palace also offers fantastic views of London's Tower Bridge, the River Thames, London's modern skyline, and the tower's grounds below. This is a favorite spot for picture takers within the tower. Finally, check out the fabled and beautiful crown jewels. The collection includes an array of crowns, scepters, and other priceless items showcasing the opulence of English royalty over the centuries. These rooms hold some of the most priceless and historic items in the world. The jewels represent not only the splendor of the British monarchy, but also the historical importance and heritage of the Tower of London itself to Britain.
Okay guys, that was the Tower of London. Now the Tower of London is a must-see when you're here in London. You can really spend a good 2 to 4 hours here, so it's really a half-day event. So make sure you keep that in mind when you come here. As you saw, there are a lot of things to do here. Listen guys, if you like this kind of content, please make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Like this video, share this video, and let me know in the comments below if you have any questions at all, or if there's anything I missed that you want to let me know about. Okay guys, until next time, take care. Bye.